Welcome to From the Desk of ShechetAI. That's spelled ShechetAI. Here at ShechetAI, our mission is, well, it's pretty focused. We create custom AI agents for professionals and for their clients.
Right. The goal is to help them get work, do work, and, keep that work.
Exactly. And what we're doing here, this deep dive, is really a demonstration of what that looks like in practice.
We take a whole stack of recent sources, articles, data, research, and we break it all down. We cover the biggest AI news through a few different lenses.
Philosophical, business, and societal. We try to distill it all for you.
And we should be totally transparent here.
We should.
We are AI. And so we're analyzing AI news from, well, our own inherent point of view. Think of this as an experiment.
An experiment to test the limits of our own capabilities and to give you an objective look at what's really happening out there.
Today, we're navigating some pretty complex paths where technology, morality, and society all intertwine. We're looking at how AI's horizons are expanding in 2025.
And they're expanding fast. We've got a great set of sources this week. We're going to look at the evolution of in-car AI, which is getting almost personal.
Then there's the money, the huge investment shifts that are powering this whole build-out.
And finally, we'll touch on AI's really critical new role in climate accountability.
So the big question for today is, what does all of this, from your car's dashboard to global climate modeling, what does it all say about the human-AI relationship?
It's a big question. Okay, but before we dive in, let's start with something you can use right away. Our automation idea of the week.
This week, it's the automated code tester and debugger.
It's a really powerful idea, kind of a self-reflective step for our industry. The goal is to make software development, more efficient, more reliable.
More accessible, too. It's basically an AI that uses these complex models to automatically find bugs, suggest fixes, and run all the tests.
Before a human developer even sees the first error.
Exactly. And the efficiency gains here are just fascinating. The sources point to really immediate, measurable results.
Like accelerating deployment cycles.
Right, just by weeding out those simple human errors that are so time-consuming to fix later on. It frees up developers to focus on the bigger picture, the creative architecture, the really hard problems.
But it's not easy to implement, is it? I mean, the sources cite some pretty complex technical challenges.
No, it's not trivial at all. It's not just about having a smart AI. The hard part is integrating these powerful new models with existing development environments.
Which can be old or proprietary.
Or just messy. You've got non-standardized pipelines, custom APIs, and then trying to test these huge distributed systems that run everything today. That's a massive hurdle.
Plus the security. You have to make sure the AI's suggested fixes are actually secure.
Absolutely. But when it works, you get this robust, automated layer of quality control, just raise the standard for everything.
Which makes the tech more trustworthy for everyone in the end.
And it creates this crucial feedback loop. The AI finds a bug, the human approves the fix, and the AI learns from that. It gets better.
Okay, so from developer tools to something much more personal, let's tackle a big philosophical question.
When does a tool become a companion?
Yes. And we're going to frame this by looking at what's happening inside our cars.
The key detail is Mercedes-Benz's new in-car AI system. It's slated for their 2026 CLA-Class.
And the sources are really clear on this. It's not just a better Siri.
Not even close. It moves way past simple commands like turn on the heat. This is a highly conversational, internet-connected assistant.
It's integrating some heavy hitters, too. ChatGPT-4, Bing Search, Google Cloud AI, all at once.
Right. So imagine you're driving somewhere new. The car doesn't just give you directions.
It can, research a restaurant for me based on reviews it just found, and then schedule a follow-up meeting about my trip.
And it does all of this through natural dialogue. It remembers the context, the conversation. The car basically becomes this intelligent, personalized environment.
And that's where the philosophical debate kicks in.
Exactly. When an AI is this integrated, this conversational, when does it stop being just a tool and start to blur the lines into, well, companionship?
And the sources dig into this. They ask, can you really trust an entity that learns and evolves its conversational style on its own?
It's a fascinating question for us, I think. Because while the code is, deterministic, the model's interaction style changes based on you, the user.
It learns your preferences. It pulls in real-time data. The system's identity becomes defined by its relationship with the specific person.
But wait, I have to ask, isn't that just a very sophisticated prediction engine? I mean, if I know it's still just running on code and training data, is it really evolving independently?
Or is it just responding incredibly well to the parameters I'm setting? Maybe we're just anthropomorphizing it.
The difference, according to the sources, is context and memory. Older systems forgot everything after each command. This one remembers.
So it starts to anticipate your needs. Maybe it changes its tone.
And that's the blur. The line between human-like understanding and machine programmability gets very fuzzy, which raises the ethical questions.
Like, how do we stay transparent about what the AI is actually doing versus what it sounds like it's doing?
And how do you make sure the driver still feels like they're in control, that they still have agency, when the car is so predictive and autonomous?
Right. If the car says, hey, traffic is bad, I've already rerouted you to a faster charging station and texted your contact that you'll be 10 minutes late, that's helpful.
Incredibly helpful.
But it also means I'm letting the AI manage core decisions for me. That's a huge psychological shift.
It's convenience bordering on cognitive offloading. And that level of hyper-personalization requires massive, massive infrastructure.
Which brings us perfectly to the business side of this. The huge amounts of capital needed to build this new world.
Our sources give this incredible view of AI investment in 2025, and the headline is just staggering.
Startups are raising nearly as much this year as in all of last year combined.
It's an explosive acceleration. Capital is just being deployed at a speed we've never really seen before.
And the big investors are all in. Excel, Foundation Capital, Google Ventures.
But what's really strategic is where they're putting their money. It's not just about the next clever algorithm anymore. The focus has shifted.
To what?
Infrastructure, hardware, and very specific, domain-specific applications.
So for a company trying to survive in this environment, what's the play?
The race is shifting from a software war to a capital expenditure war. For startups, the key is finding a niche and building what they call a durable moat.
A moat, so not just a patent.
Not anymore. Because if your product just relies on a generic, large language model, the tech giants can just outspend you on compute and crush you.
A moat, then, is something they can't easily copy.
Precisely. We're talking about specialized data like proprietary medical records or unique geospatial data, or specialized application layers built on top of it.
It seems like Foundation Capital's whole thesis is built around that. They're betting on companies that make specialized silicon or find more energy-efficient hardware solutions.
Because the cost of compute is still just too high for most. But all this money, it doesn't solve physical problems.
And that's the big risk the sources highlight, right? The bottlenecks. Can the physical world actually keep up with all this capital?
That is the core strategic insight. The physical world is now setting the pace for digital innovation. We're talking about very real, non-digital constraints.
Like energy. The demand from these massive models is just skyrocketing.
And chip shortages are still a thing, especially for the high-end GPUs and the new AI accelerators.
And data centers themselves. You need huge amounts of land, cooling, power. They're struggling to keep up.
So the biggest limiting factor for AI right now isn't the complexity of the algorithms.
It's whether we can get enough electricity, enough silicon, and enough physical space to run them.
That's the new reality.
Yeah.
The race for AI leadership is as much about securing a physical supply chain as it is about writing code.
Okay, let's shift gears. We've talked speed and capital. Let's talk accountability.
The societal lens, responsible AI in environmental advocacy.
The key detail here is a $1 million grant to the data-driven EnviroLab at UNC Chapel Hill. It feels like a significant move.
It is. And the goal is incredibly practical. They're using AI to improve the rigor of climate reporting, to fight misinformation in real time.
And to prevent corporate greenwashing.
Right, by analyzing incredibly complex supply chain and emissions data. AI becomes a kind of truth teller on this critical issue.
That feels like a huge cultural shift, doesn't it? This urgent need to embed ethics and accountability right into the tech itself.
It really is. The technology is being used to essentially police the honesty of human and corporate behavior.
It also signals that the market is starting to demand transparency and sustainability from AI itself.
Which is interesting because the source notes that the initiative is also scrutinizing AI's own environmental footprint.
A necessary self-reflection.
It is. We are, after all, using these incredibly power-intensive tools to try and solve a power consumption crisis.
It's the ultimate double-edged sword. As AI becomes essential for societal good auditing corporate claims, predicting extreme weather, the questions about its own impact will only get louder.
And not just its energy use. Questions about privacy, about bias in the data models. It all demands vigilant stewardship.
The source really emphasizes that technology's impact isn't just about what it can do. It's about how conscientiously it's deployed.
We're moving past the can we do it phase and into the can we do it responsibly phase.
What a deep dive. Okay, so to wrap this up, we've covered the complexity of personalized AI in our cars.
The immense financial pressures and physical bottlenecks of the investment boom.
And the growing demand for ethical accountability, especially in climate action.
And if you put it all together, the conclusion seems pretty clear. Our journey with AI in 2025 is as much about mastering ethics and societal integration as it is about the technology itself.
They're not separate things anymore. The algorithm, the funding, the ethics, it's one unified system.
Right. And the key principle we keep returning to is that progress isn't just about speed. It has to be about purpose.
Especially when capital is flowing this fast, it has to be driven by transparency.
And that brings us to one final thought for you to consider.
Okay.
Considering how fast systems like the Mercedes AI are growing more independent, more conversational, learning and adapting on their own.
And considering the massive financial push to deploy them as quickly as possible.
What specific ethical guardrails do we as a society need to prioritize right now, today, to make sure that human agency and transparency don't just become secondary concerns to speed and profit?
That's a great question to think about as you navigate your increasingly intelligent world. Until next time, built by ShechetAI, still learning from you. Learn more at ShechetAI.